Hello everyone, welcome to William and the Magic Box. Today on our show, we're going to have Gary. Gary is from Swindon in England, in the UK. So let's see what Gary has to say. Enjoy the interview. So hello Gary, how are you?
Oh, very well, thank you.
So tell me, how's your weekend going so far?
Nice and relaxing at the moment. Nice and relaxing.
So tell me, what has been the highlight of your weekend so far?
Well, I'm currently putting together a mixed martial arts show. We've made some great fights. The preparation's getting there. We're almost there now, and I'm 2 weeks out from the event. So I've managed to get a lot of work done over the weekend. So
Oh,
yeah, we're in a good position at the moment.
so tell me about this idea, this project that you are working on.
Sorry.
So tell me a little bit more about this project that you are working on, this martial arts project.
So the event is called Raged UK MMA. We've been running for over 10 years. It's professional and amateur mixed martial arts.
Okay.
We're based in Swindon in Wiltshire, which if you're based in the UK, we're on that M4 corridor between London and Bristol, somewhere around that sort of area. So quite a good location in terms of if you're putting events on and so on. So nice and easy to get to. And yeah, the event's looking really good. And we've got plenty more coming this year.
That's amazing. And you do you organize that once a year or a few times? How does it work, the schedule?
Several times a year. So we have 3 raged events. In the process of starting another event based in Cheltenham, which is called Iron Fight Championships. That will
Okay.
be coming the following month, April the 25th. So that's in the horizon. That's coming together as well. But up first, we've got Rage. So busy times.
So tell me, where are you from, Gary?
Swindon. Half my family's from Tullamore in Ireland, other half from London, and I'm somewhere in the middle in Swindon, born and raised here.
What's the biggest joy of waking up in Swindon every morning?
Family. Everything's about family. If I didn't have family, or you didn't have family, you'd have nothing, right?
And if I would come to Swindon for the very first time, tell me a place that I should visit. It's a place, it's a must. It's the postcard of the city.
So Swindon gets a bad reputation, as I'm sure a lot of other towns and venues and stuff do. But I think if you just want somewhere nice to go to, then go somewhere like Lydiard Park. Beautiful parks, great day out with the family. Somewhere like that. That's like the nicer side of it. A bit of country. Uh, that's probably somewhere where you'd want to go.
And what do you do for work, for a living, Gary?
So I own and run Raged UK MMA, which is the
Okay.
mixed martial arts promotion.
Okay.
I also do social media marketing. So I own and run GMT Creative. So looking after businesses, Facebooks, Instagrams, creating content, that sort of thing.
So if I would like to collaborate with the William the Magic Box to get a bigger proportion, you are the right guy to come with to talk about.
Hopefully, it's all about making connections, right?
Amazing. Right, so during the interview, I'm going to explore a bit more about your life and also about your journey, okay?
Sure.
But before we start our journey, William the Magic Box, I would like you to tell me something interesting about yourself, or maybe something that not many people know about you.
Okay. I actually went to drama school when I was younger. Yeah,
Wow.
a lot of people tend to be surprised by that. I years back during school, I think I wasn't naughty. Maybe I was a bit cheeky, liked a bit of a joke, and as a punishment, I got made to help with a school performance, and it turns out I actually really liked it. So my mum thought, right, let's send you to a drama school, and
Wow.
I ended up doing that, and ended up going on, and I've had small bits and pieces parts in different TV shows and films over the years. Nothing big, nothing major, but I popped up here and there, which really surprises people that I've done that.
That's amazing. And nowadays, do you do some acting as well?
Very little. Every now and again, I might
Mhm.
get a call up to jump in and do a bit of extra work or something like that, or I'm jumping into people's social media videos and things like that. When I'm involved with creating content, sometimes I'm involved with that, but not done anything properly for a while. But I'm always open to doing something again. It's always good fun.
Totally, I love that. I think when you're an artist, you explore so many areas. You can explore different things, and that's the beauty about it. It's about being open-minded for opportunities that come along. That's how I see it.
I think you've always got to be open to try things. And I think like when I was younger, I was the kid that would just be sat indoors on the computer games playing around. And I just remember, I think the option had come up at school to go on a trip or go and do something. And I was like, nah. And my mum said, you're going to regret so much if you don't start trying to do stuff. And that's just stuck through my whole life. Like, give it a go. Just try it. If you don't like it, you ain't got to do it. So from then on, it's almost like something's been in my head. Like, you have to try it. Try this trip. Try this job. Try this business. Give it a go. And that's kind of always stuck with me through my whole life. So I've gone from like not wanting to get out of the house and do anything to now trying to do everything I can to explore and learn and develop.
Totally. The power of saying yes can take you in place that you never thought about being or never thought about exploring. And I totally agree with you. I think opportunities, it's always knocking your door. You need to embrace it. You need to take the challenge. Why not? It's amazing for you to explore different areas and just enjoy and learn every single day.
Exactly.
Are you ready to go on a beautiful journey through memories in life and share your point of views?
Let's go. Yeah.
Amazing. Welcome to William and the Magic Box. So I have here my best friend. Random fun questions. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to play a song just for us to relax before the first question, okay?
Okay.
Let's do it. Right, so before I start the game, during the interview, if it comes up a question that you don't want to talk about or you don't want to answer, always can change, okay? Amazing. First question is, what do you like the most about yourself?
Wow. I'm devoted to my family. Family comes first.
Wow. And tell me which person in your family right this moment we are more connected with or more close to?
I wouldn't say there's one person more than the other. In my household, for example, I've got two daughters and my wife. They're would be my closest, but I've got my parents, I've got my brothers, cousins, aunties, uncles. So I've got a very close family.
Wow. Okay, so those members of your family just mentioned right now, all of them, they're watching this interview and you have opportunity to send them a message. What would you say they're watching?
What would they say?
What would you say to them now? You can send a message for them now. They are watching this interview. What would you say?
Oh, it's going to sound so cheesy. Everything I do in life is for them. I want to give my family the best life possible and just enjoy ourselves. Let's explore life together. Let's help each other on the way. That was super cheesy. You got that out of me.
Not right or wrong. It's
I'm
just
going to be a fight promoter.
What's the biggest joy of being a dad?
Watching them grow and be successful. Watching, that joy you get when you see them in a school play, or they bring back a piece of homework or a piece of work at school that they've done well in. You can't really you can't describe it until you're in that position when your child has done that and achieved that, and you feel pride in someone else. It's different, rather than feel pride in yourself. It feels much better to have pride in someone else. That's great.
And so far, what has been the most meaningful lesson you've learned from your kids?
That they're there for you. When you go through hard times, they're there for you.
Wow.
And they can handle more than what you realize.
I think we learn a lot with kids. I think, and when we realize that, as you mentioned, they're always going to be there. I think family is about that, You can fall, you can be in the highest, moment of your life. They're always going to be there by your side, cheering up for sure. Got goosebumps saying that now. Next question, let's do it. Okay, Gary, next question is, what do you miss the most from your childhood and why?
Miss the simplicity. And what I mean by that is, phones and technology are great, but I miss just being a kid and knocking for my mates, going to play football. You know, we go home when it gets dark. You know, that's how you know when you're going home. Just the
Yeah.
simplicity and no worries. Not, you know, when you're a kid playing football, you know, you're not worried about bills and life and so on. Everything's simpler. And as much as, you know, I owe my life, my business to technology and things like that, but the simplicity of things of my childhood, definitely.
And when you think about your childhood memories, what a memory that's time to time it just popped to your head. Sometimes you, when you're talking about, back to your childhood or back to some memories in your life, this memory for some reason just comes up. There's anything you could share?
I guess I had a good bunch of friends where I grew up. Built tree houses in my garden. I remember sort of doing that, building the tree house, and all like the sort of kids in the area come together and was all building it up together. That's a nice memory.
And tell me childhood friends that you still keep in touch, you still have some connection with.
Yeah, I mean, I think probably one of my first friends,
Mhm.
my friend Mark, who I grew up with when I first moved into my family's house. He was my next door neighbour, and you know we went to school together, grew up together. And as life, you have friends, family, and everything else gets in the way. You don't see each other. And now he's moved round the corner from me. You know, so after all those years, you know we still don't see each other as much as we'd like to. But you know, he's probably the oldest friend, but
Well,
that I've had since I was a very young. I think since I was about 3 or 4.
oh my God, that's amazing. And what's the
Yeah.
biggest similarity between both of you and the biggest difference, in your opinion?
Uh, similar with similar well, we both love football. We both supported Man United. We rubbed off on each other. Um, Humor was very similar. But I guess in terms of work wise, you know, what he does is manual roofing labour, and I'm sort of the opposite. I'm sort of going around with a camera, or I'm organising events and so on. So different in a lot of ways, but yeah, a lot of similarities in terms of our humour and personalities.
Amazing, very good. Next question, let's do it. Right. So before the next question, when we start talking, yeah, to organize the interview, you mentioned that you are a mental health advocate. Yeah. So
Yeah.
tell me a little bit about it. So tell me why, you somehow started this journey of helping others or part of, exploring this area.
So mental health is it's important to me. I say about over 10 years ago now. I suffer with what I guess most people would probably call a breakdown.
Mhm.
You know, a lot of mental health issues myself. Really struggled, and I have done for years. Much better place now, but even now, I still have my moments. I still have my ups and downs where I
Yeah.
do struggle. But back when it was really tough, really hard for me, like things seemed unbearable. Like you know, I saw no way out. But when I did start to move on and find little glimmers of hope in life and things like that, I thought, well, if I could do something to help other people, when you're talking to people who've been in similar positions, it's actually refreshing and it's actually helpful to you. So when I kind of spoke to people and said, look, I'm really struggling with this, it surprised me how many people, oh, me too. I do this. I've had this because again, it's so common, but true. A lot of people don't talk about it as much as what they'd like to or probably should. Um, so I've tried to sort of fundraise different mental health charities. I've organised different bits and pieces, and I've jumped on a couple of podcasts previously, and I've openly talked about me and what I've gone through. And I think what that found was perhaps maybe some people look at me thinking, "Wow, he's outgoing. He's done this. He's done that. He he's evolved in mixed martial arts. He's involved with acting and film. You know, when they realise that I struggle with anxiety and depression and mental health, they're shocked. A lot of people are anyway. And people have messaged me saying, "Oh wow, I'm glad that you said it because I would have never said it, or I would never have thought that about you." And that opens up conversation. Or people have asked me for my advice. What did I do? What did I do in this position, and so on. So, if I can help anyone or give anyone advice through what I've gone through, and I'm still a work in progress. I'm not. I
Yep.
still have my moments, but I think I've got a much better understanding of mental health, how it works, and so on. So, yeah, just about being there, trying to help each other.
I'm glad that you're talking about, you open up about that, Gary. I think it's very important because, as you said, some people sometimes they see us and sometimes they go like, oh my God, they have the perfect life or everything's going well, or I don't see them complain about anything, or they're always smiling. However, all of us, we have our struggles as well. And there are sometimes what you see is just maybe something that people, they think that's happening. And of course, people, I think positive people are always positive. There's always something. However, people have their moments as well. When see someone open talk about it, I think it's part of healing for sure, and helping others. I think people appreciate to be able to know that you're never alone. You're not alone out there. I think sometimes we get trapped in some situations that think, oh my God, I'm the only person who's facing that, or but actually there are so many people facing even more struggles that we are, and sometimes talking about it, open up, being vulnerable, we are, it's amazing to somehow, create our awareness. I think, talking about it, it's amazing. The most you talk, the most spreads, the information around, and people, they
Exactly
they
right.
get help somehow. Yeah, they somehow
Yeah.
they connect with us, and it's okay. It's I know it's cliche. It's okay not to be okay, but it's true. Sometimes it's okay for you not to feel the best. I think we aim for happiness. All of us, we have the thing about I want to be happy, but sometimes it's just not there, and it's
Yeah.
also okay. We need those days where if our life would be just happy, I think we wouldn't learn anything. And I think sometimes life challenges us in those going through those moments for us to understand more about life, about ourselves, and about others as well. Thanks for sharing.
And understanding how, like, how the mind and the brain works, and you know
Yeah,
understanding why you feel a certain way, and then understanding, well, if I'm doing certain things, it's making me feel like this. Your diet might be a factor, or your work, or stress, or there's certain things that you might not realize will have a knock on impact to what you do. It's difficult because in life there's stresses, and there's always going to be stresses like paying bills and
yeah,
so
yeah.
on. That's stresses that everyone has to deal with, but I think it's when there's certain things that become so overwhelming and you don't ever snap out of it, and you are kind of like, you feel stuck. That's a horrible, horrible feeling and spot to be in. That's when you need to be looking to get help, ask for help, talk to people, and there's solutions. There's ways around things, and you might not always think it at the time. You might think you are stuck in that deep dark hole, and trust me, I know that it's the worst feeling possible. But if you just get like one little glimmer of light, and you kind of keep going with it, then more and more will come. It was very much a case of every day felt unbearable for a long, long time. Just there was never any rest, never any break in my head. I was always Everything was rushing. I always felt stressed, anxious. I felt like I wanted to cry all the time. I felt like a
Yep.
hormonal pregnant woman. That's how I tried to describe myself. um, it just felt unbearable. Like I didn't know what to do. But then once you start looking into, I got to a point where I thought, oh God, well, clearly, trying to drink myself through it's not going to help, and I can't be dealing with a hangover every single day. So I thought doing that to try and remedy it's not going to help. And very quickly, I was lucky because not a lot of people do that. But I think after doing that for one day, trying to drink myself to forget about it, I was like, this is not helpful. It's not helping me. So very quickly, I thought I need to look at alternative routes. How can I rectify it? And it was a case of going to the doctor first of all. Where I worked at the time before I was self-employed, they were very good. I'd never had time off in my life. They told me I needed to
Wow.
take time off. I was like, oh wow,
Wow.
if I'm being told I need to take time off, there must be something wrong with it. Finding close friends and family and people you can speak to. Sometimes, like, you think I should be able to speak to, my husband or my wife or my mum, but they're not always necessarily the right person for you to speak to.
Perfect.
Um,
Absolutely.
but it's just about not giving up and constantly trying to find ways to what helps you, what makes you feel better, and exploring that.
Totally. Not just that. I think men, we've been raised in a society where we cannot cry. You need to be strong all the time. And actually, asking for help, crying, being vulnerable, it's a big sign of being strong. I think that's, when you see a man crying or see a man asking for help, it's such a beautiful thing to see because we don't see that very often. And I think it's amazing to see, and that's amazing to be in that position because, we are just human beings, we are here living a life, for the best we can. And it doesn't matter, your sexuality, your gender. I think all of us, we are in the same boat, literally navigating through life. That's how I see it.
Yeah.
Great.
Well put.
Next question is, good question. If you're not yourself, would you like to be yourself?
Ooh.
Knowing the person who you are.
No, I think I would be myself. I think I've experienced a lot of good stuff, and I've learned through the hard times and so on. So I think if I was to try and pick to be a movie star or someone else or whatever, if I'm thinking along those lines, I couldn't bear thinking what it would be like without my children in my life and so on. So the answer is no. I'd have to be myself.
And what's the meaning of life for you when you think about life?
Well, it was going to be my phrase that you wanted me to give at the end, like my ethos. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time.
Great, nice one. Actually, that's true. And life is so quick and so fast that we need to make the most of it every single day. I think the present is a gift.
You have to, yeah.
Amazing. 3 questions left. Let's do it. Right, so before the next question, in the beginning of the interview, you mentioned about that you are a big fan of Manchester United, yeah?
So tell me when I was growing up, but yeah, I still follow them.
So tell me your 3 favorite football players of all time from Manchester United.
From Manchester United or just all time?
All time.
Okay. I would have to say...
3 names.
Okay, so I'm going to go with Eric Cantona.
Okay.
I was able to watch him play, and he was phenomenal. He was good fun to watch. I'm also going to say Paul Gascoigne, not a Man United player, but Gaza was brilliant. I thought he was absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to say Cristiano Ronaldo.
Wow. I believe Cristiano Ronaldo, I know he's still with us. The other 2, they're still with us, yeah?
Yep, yeah.
Okay. The question is going to be a bit tougher now. One day, you're going to wake up in the morning having 3 missed calls on your phone from those 3 you just mentioned right now. Which one you're going to call back straight away? Which one you're going to send a message, I'll call you back later? In the 3rd one, you don't call back, just ignore him for now.
I think I'll ignore for now Cantona.
Ooh.
Because I think he's a busy guy. He's too chilled. He's too laid back. I don't think he's going to be that worried about getting in touch. I think I'd message Cristiano Ronaldo because he's a busy guy and he ain't going to have long to talk. And I think I would call Paul Gascoigne back because he struggles a lot in life and struggles with drink and so on. So I think he's a guy that needs people there for him. So that phone call is going to be most important to him.
I like actually your concept about it. I like that. But I can't believe you ignored the other one. I can't believe it. He's watching this interview right now. Imagine.
I'll text him later and apologize.
All right. Next question is, what's your favorite guilty pleasure TV show?
Guilty pleasure? I wouldn't say it's a guilty pleasure. I'll just say everyone loves The In-Betweeners. Absolutely love The In-Betweeners. Like, I could keep watching them over and over again because it just reminds me of me growing up, me and my mates, and like, I'm 40 years old and we still talk to each other like that. Like, nothing's changed. So, In-Betweeners. I mean, I love Only Fools and Horses. They're my top 2 favorite TV shows. But the more guilty pleasure side if I'm going to watch something and binge it in between us.
Tell us how martial arts came into your life.
Oh, so if I rewind the clock right back, as a kid, my granddad was a boxer. He was a very good boxer, and he won sort of regional titles. So as a
Wow.
kid, I loved that. He bought me gloves and used to do bits of training with me when I was little, and took me to boxing shows and so on. So I grew up loving it, and I was kind of fanatical about boxing and facts, figures, and champions. Um, I even went and trained at a couple of amateur boxing clubs and tried to develop and thought, oh, maybe I could do this myself. And as much as I'd like to kid myself and say, oh, it was amazing, I didn't like getting punched in the head. It's as simple as that. Like that's the thing that people don't warn you about. When you get punched in the head, it actually hurts. So, I didn't want to kid myself. I would still get involved, maybe spar and train here and there. But I thought, do you know what? How can I be involved in a sport that I love? That I can't, if I can't be the best at something, how can I be involved in something? So I studied sports science. I've done a degree in sports science. I wanted to do the sports injuries and strength and conditioning. So that's what I did. I started working with professional fighters, particularly in boxing. Then I started putting on my own boxing events where I was involved in that sort of remit. And then a friend of mine said to me, you put on good events, why don't you do MMA cage fighting events? And I thought, yeah, maybe. So I did, and the first MMA show that I ever went to was my own. So I put that first event on, not knowing a great deal about it. Once I'd done it, so everything kind of changed. I really enjoyed it. I loved it, and then I still love boxing, but everything kind of drifted, and then become focused on mixed martial arts. And then I
Right.
wanted to understand like the grappling, the jiu-jitsu. So, I was probably like most people who didn't appreciate mixed martial arts. Oh, it's great when they stand up, but when they're on the floor, I don't get it. I thought like that. I started training in jiu-jitsu. And once I started training in jiu-jitsu, I was like, oh, I love it when they're on the floor now. I understand. Oh, I get what they're trying to do. He's trying to do this movement. And then I started to understand and seeing how everything worked together. So that developed over time, like my love for mixed martial arts grew. And obviously I tried to, again, I'm not an expert in jiu-jitsu or mixed martial arts, but I was happy to try and train and do bits and pieces with it. And there is nothing more humbling than being like, I'm quite a big guy, than being choked out, tapped out by someone who is literally half your size. And then, and that's a wake up call. Like, okay, I'll stick to the promoting and being a fan. And yeah, I was right the first time. Getting punched in the face is no fun, and getting choked out is no fun either. So yeah, I developed a passion for it, and I think where I've always been involved with events and putting bits and pieces together, I've always been a good organizer. I like to think I'm good with people. There's no sort of bullshit with me. It's like what you see is what you get. If you ask me a question, I'll give you the truth. I don't hide anything. I'm not affiliated with any other gym. I'm friends with a lot of gyms and people, but I think for that reason, people are happy to compete and be on my show. I just try and give everyone the best that I can. And what I mean by that is I try and give them the best experience. It might be your debut fight. It might be the first time you've ever got in the cage. I still want to treat that person like they're royalty, because at the end of the day, you're coming on my show. Let's face it, you're putting your life on the line, for people to come and watch. And I think they need to be applauded from that. So from the first debut amateur all the way through to the elite professional, they all need to have our respect, and they need to be treated like that, because without those guys, we've got no show, we've got no event, and so on. So I'm always very thankful, always very grateful that people choose to be on the Rage UK MMA show, because it's grown a lot over the years. And I do try my best with them, and it's super stressful, especially sometimes where my own mental health can come into play, and it can be a little bit up and down. And when you start getting really stressed, it can be a struggle. But ultimately, the chase and putting it all together, the event when it comes together, is an incredible feeling. When you see a huge event come together and people tell you, "I love it. It was a great night, great performance." And even gets to the point where, like, I grow attached to a lot of these fighters and build friendships with them. I actually get sad when they lose. You know, sometimes I think, God, you know, you're a promoter, you step back, you know, it doesn't matter. But to me, it does. You
Of
know,
course, of
it
course.
sucks to see people lose, but also it's great when you see people win as well. So yeah, I try and do the best I can for everyone, and I really hope people appreciate that.
No, I understand your point. I think even though you are behind the scene, you organize everything. However, it's your passion. You get involved with it. You know, the emotions are there. You are cheering up for the winner or for the someone who is losing for some reason. You know, you're just cheering up for. You are involved somehow. I think your heart's there, your mind's there, everything's there. You are, you know, and I think it's a beauty. That's why people they come to you and they say how much they loved or they enjoyed because somehow it's part of you being there as well. You know, so it's a community all working together, you know, to get to the
Yeah.
point where the show is there and people are enjoying, have the great time. It's interesting to talk about jiu-jitsu because I'm from Brazil and jiu-jitsu in Brazil, I mean, I,
Massive, right?
since I, you know, as a little boy, jiu-jitsu for me was something like normal because it's been always big in Brazil, jiu-jitsu. And so since I've been doing interviews and I talk to people, you know, I see people like talking about jiu-jitsu. I'm like, my God, how amazing to see how you know, this arts, I call jiu-jitsu as an art, you know, people, you know, the way they do it's like capoeira. Have you heard about capoeira? Capoeira is like a
Yeah,
dance
sure, yeah.
thing. And,
It was the
you
slaves
know,
dance, right?
yeah,
Yeah,
it's something that's always been as a younger boy. For me, it was something so natural, simple to see people doing the streets or in clubs or in gyms or everywhere.
it's amazing to watch.
It's beautiful. It's like again, it's like a performer. Like it's just beauty. It just warms my heart when people talk about it because it brings me to my roots for sure.
Takes you back home. Yeah.
Yes, like I love that. Two questions left. Let's do it. Right. So before the next question, let's do a little play. So let's pretend that you've got the biggest budget in your hands. Yeah. So you're gonna put together a play, a movie, or a scene, or a short movie. You're gonna be on it as well as you got some acting as well. Skills gonna be on it, and you can cast anyone on this, you know, project to be your mom, to play your mom, also to play your dad. At the same time, your romantic partner, and also you can choose any director or producer in the world to help you to put all together. It's okay, your budget, so you can cast anyone. So tell me those names.
Okay, so who am I going with first?
You choose your mom, your dad, or your romantic partner. Tell me those names that would you like to be involved in this
Um,
project. You.
I think for my dad, let's go Ricky Gervais because my dad looks a bit like Ricky Gervais.
Wow.
He's either gonna love that or hate it. Yes, let's go with that. Um, um, partner, let's go Megan Fox. Why not?
Wow. Wow.
Who's going to be my mum? I know. If she was alive, Judy Garland.
Oh my God, what a choice. Wow. Beautiful.
Who else have I got to choose?
The big boss now to help you to put all together, the director, the
The big
producer.
boss. Well, let's go. Let's just go Spielberg.
Wow, that's a big one for sure. Okay, that was easy. My God, you got the names like straight away. Amazing. All right, next question is what's your favorite holiday season of the year?
Um, do you know what? I actually love Christmas. So in terms of going on holiday, of course, I love a summer holiday. I love going away. I love traveling. I love exploring. But in terms of just a great time, you know, going out and having a few drinks with your pals before Christmas, or Christmas dinner with all your family around, presents for the kids.
Yeah.
I'm like a big kid at heart, so it's got to be Christmas for me. It has to be.
Tell me, do you have like a tradition during this Christmas period on Christmas Day that you do every Christmas with your kids or with your family, or you just literally go with the flow regarding movies and everything?
I guess tradition in terms of how we try and see everyone, and it is a carnage day, but
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't change it. So, you know, my wife's mum stays over Christmas Eve, so she's there for when the kids open up presents Christmas Day. I then travel. I say travel, it's not too far, about a 5 minute drive to my grandparents' house, and we see my
Mm-hmm.
grandparents in the morning.
Oh,
My
sweet.
wife will then have Her cousins come over in the morning as well. I then cook the Christmas dinner.
Oh, you are the
I
one in
do
charge.
it,
You
but
are.
there is method to the madness. One, I do a banging roast. I do that. If it's one meal I can do, it's a good roast dinner. But
Wow.
I'm happy. I would rather cook the roast and do the tidy up afterwards. So I think that's how I look at it. I think if I do the graft, and then everyone else can clean up after. So that's my thinking on that. And then in the evening, after dinner, we'll then go over and see my well, would have been my other grandparents. My granddad passed away recently, but we'll go and see my nan and my uncle, at my mum,
Oh,
my dad, my brothers, and they live on the same street. So literally try and see everybody in one day. So it's a carnage day, but so used to it, and I've done it all my life. So
that's a perfect Christmas, Gary. Oh my God, that's amazing. That's I think Christmas is about that, for you to be able to see your loved ones, to share this moment. It's funny when you say a Carnage Day, I was a bit confused because I never heard this expression before. Carnage Day. It means like a busy day. It's like something filled up with things to do. That's what you meant.
like a carnival day.
I know you said a Carnage Day. You said Carnage or
Carnage, as in crazy. It's
I see. I see. Got it.
absolute carnage.
I
It's
like
really
that.
busy, hectic.
I,
Hectic is probably a
I,
better word.
you just made my day now. I learned something new. It's amazing. I think Christmas is about that. Christmas is about for you to be able to, to do that. And I think the whole Christmas season, it's amazing. I think it warms people's hearts. It's the whole season. Even if you don't,
It's a happy
maybe,
time, isn't it? Throughout, especially throughout
yeah,
December. Everyone's spirits are high.
yeah.
Everyone's a little bit happier, aren't they?
What would be the title of your memoir one day?
Ooh, uh, memoirs of a fight promoter.
Good one.
Maybe I need to do a little bit of work on that. There's there's more to me than just the MMA.
It's okay. It's what comes to your mind, no right or wrong. It just that genuinely came in this idea to your mind. Why not? Amazing. Last question. Ready?
Hmm.
Do it. Last question. Okay, so before the last question, tell me a moment. You talk about a lot about boxing, about the events that you create, all of this, environment. So tell me a moment, since you started this journey, that for some reason, one reason or another, you're never gonna forget. It's a moment that so far you're gonna hold close to your heart.
Ooh, I think in the early days, and I couldn't tell you which event it was, but I remember the doors would open. People were there. The bell had rung. The lights had come on. The guys had started going to the cage, and I looked out into the crowd, and I couldn't believe that so many people had come to this event that I had organised, and like people were tapping me on the shoulder saying, "Mate, this is brilliant. This is incredible." And throughout the night, great night. Had a great time. Oh, that's good. When's the next one? But I just remember just standing on the stage and just like looking out. Couldn't believe that like an idea in my head had just sort of grown and created this, and so many people have had a good time. Like it's okay, it's fighting, but it is a sport, and the idea is it's positive. It's a positive event. And yeah, I was very proud of that because uh, to the other side of it, having gone through the mental health journey and the difficult times, it was almost like a validation, like you've got something to give. You're still here.
Yes.
You can still do something. You're not beaten yet. Look at what you can do. You was down. You was in this hole. You're not in that hole now. Keep going. So it's,
Wow.
there's double meaning to it. It was like you're all right. Keep going because you're doing good from the mental health side of things. But it was also very positive that I'd been able to create a business, an event, and something that people wanted to see, and it's still going.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's a big incentive for you when you find yourself in those moments where you're not great with your mental health. I'm sure those memories come to your mind. It's like a medicine for you to understand that, you need to carry on, you need to go on because, it's about that for you to leave your signature in the world, your legacy or something about you that it meant to be for you. So that's how I see it as well. Great. Last question is, what's the best first date you ever been on?
Best first date. Okay, it's got to be just meeting my wife out really. Whether it be classed as a date, I just remember thinking, oh, how can I speak to her? And I know her friend. How this create a conversation. I just remember trying to smooth talk my way in. It just sticks out. Like I've been
Wow.
with her so long, I can't remember any dates of anyone else. To be quite honest with you, so
And tell me, how did your paths cross for the very first time? How did it happen, if you can share?
uh, we was on a night out, and funnily enough, I'd seen her friend the week before, and she said, "Oh, you need to meet my friend. I need to introduce you because I'd known her for a while." And
Uh-huh.
sure enough, but seen her again, and she was with her friend. So she made the
Oh.
introduction, and that was it.
Who fell in love first, do you think, between both of you?
Pardon?
Who fell in love first between both of you? Who do you think who falls in
No,
love
probably me. I'd done all the chasing and stuff. I think I wore her down in the end.
It should be you for sure. You're the one, like, it was on your shoulders already. You needed to.
Yeah, it was all me. Like I wore her down and broke her in the end, I think.
Oh, sweet. Right, it's not the end yet. Let's play now the word association game, okay? I'm going to say some words, just one word that comes to your mind. Quick thinking, okay?
Okay.
Money, one word.
Dollar.
Fear,
Anxiety.
family,
Love.
life,
Epic.
religion,
Embrace.
love.
Familiar.
I like that. Politics,
Stress.
sex,
Amazing.
friendship,
Brothers.
desire,
Destiny.
regret.
I've made a few.
Thank God. Thank God you did. All of us. One word for success.
One word. I'm trying to think of the right word. I'm thinking of like soldiering on.
Not right or wrong. What comes to your mind?
Yeah.
Wish,
Prayer.
happiness.
Sorrow.
One word for Swindon.
Swin Vegas.
Why is that?
I don't know why we kind of just coined it. Swindon's known for like boxing, martial art. It's known for a lot of fights in the town. You know,
Oh,
there is boxing events, and I'm the only one that does the MMA pretty much around Wiltshire or Southwest. And because there is so much of that sport, like I mentioned earlier, on that M4 corridor, which is very convenient for events. So, and I can't claim that I made it up. I'm sure one of the MMA fighters said it once, and I just tagged onto it. But someone called it Swin Vegas, and I really like that. So whenever I announce a fight or an event, I say, "Welcome to Swin Vegas,
I
where the
like
magic
it.
happens."
Actually, you
Otherwise,
mentioned,
otherwise, it's known as the main place in the country for roundabouts. If you're not involved in boxing, it's known, or MMA, it's known for its roundabouts. But Swin Vegas sounds better.
I actually I love movies, and I think I watched, I don't know how long ago, but I think I watched very English movies, and I think there was something about maybe Sweden or that people like not fighting, but have some. You mentioned about there this stigma or something that people talk about. I think somehow this memory came to my mind. Now could be something connected with that. It just kind of
Possibly.
make more clear now. One word for martial arts.
Um, Focus.
One word for England.
Uh, Pride.
One word for mental health advocate.
Guess it would have to be a friend.
Good one. And the last one now, acting. One word.
Clowning.
Amazing. Let's pretend now I'm going to meet your wife for a coffee and I'm going to ask her, define Gary in one positive and one negative word only. What she would say about you?
Funny and annoying.
That was very easy, straight away. Let's play now, Gary, and the magic box, and you can ask me a question. But before asking the question, people, if they're suffering with mental health at the moment, maybe they are in a place where they don't find a way out, they think they're alone out there. What would be your best piece of advice for those people?
Speak, find someone to talk to, call someone.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of charities and a lot of numbers. If you don't have someone there for you, there's a lot of people out there that can be there for you. Worst case scenario, you've got Samaritans, call them.
Amazing. Okay, Gary, you can ask me a question now.
If you were to have a dinner party with 6 guests, dead or alive, who would you choose?
Okay, I'm glad you said 6 people because I have so many big names. Okay, let's start. Princess Diana for sure. I'd love to have her on my table. Barack Obama would be a nice, my God, Barack Obama. My God, so let's see. So Barack Obama, I would go for Princess Diana for sure. Okay, I'm gonna get to Brazil. There's a Brazilian entertainer called Xuxa. She's entertaining the 80s, 90s, a whole my generation, the 80s, 90s, grew up with her. She was is still a big star in Brazil. She's doing now a tour. It's not a singer, she's an entertainer, but she's doing like an 80s tour. And actually, I'll be there in Brazil. It's a dream as a child that I've been waiting for the last 35, 36 years. It's gonna happen in July. I can't wait to be there. So Xuxa, Barack Obama, Princess Diana. Wow, so many names that I would love to be around this table talking with me. Oh my God.
What, are you a Pele fan?
I thought about actually Pelé. Somehow he crossed. You thought about the football player Pelé. Actually, he was a boyfriend with Xuxa. No, I wouldn't go for. I would take Cristiano Ronaldo. I like him. I think Cristiano Ronaldo. He changed the concept about football, about the way you can play for longer if you have this focus. I cannot forget about one of my biggest idol in sports that for me, I cannot forget his name for sure. I cannot even Roger Federer. Oh
Okay,
my God, he needs to be there for sure. 5 names. So Roger Federer, Xuxa, Barack Obama, Princess Diana, Cristiano Ronaldo, and the last one now. Let's go international. Someone that I'd love to be. Oh my God, I'm sure when I hang up this call, I'm gonna go like, oh, I can't believe I didn't say this name, but it's gonna come along. Okay, I know what I'm gonna say. I'd love to have in this table a random person. For sure, I love this. I'm so glad this thought came to my mind because I would love to have in this table someone that I never met before, someone that I would love to connect with all those big names and somehow as well to connect, for me to get to know a random person. As you gave me 6 opportunities, so the last one I'll take a random person that I never met before, or maybe someone who be on the show, someone that I never met in person, and I'd love to be in this table as well to help me not to feel too small close to all those big names.
Good names.
I like that for sure. Great question, amazing. Did you enjoy the interview?
Very good, very different. Yeah, I liked it. Great concept.
Thanks again, Gary, for taking the time. Thanks for being so sweet and accept my invitation. I know you are a busy man, and I think nowadays time is precious. Our lives always, on the go, as you know very well. And when someone take their time for us, for the dream, there's a dream for me. So when someone take their time to be part of my dream, I appreciate. So I appreciate your time. I appreciate for you to be honest and also open, talking about struggles in life. Beautiful for you to see your eyes shine, talk to your family and about your business and about your martial arts journey. So thanks again for bringing this energy to the show. I appreciate for sure. And before you go, if you can share a positive message or anything that you live by.
I think I said it earlier. We're not here for a long time. We're here for a good time.
Amazing. Let's make the most of it then. Let's enjoy every second of it.
That's right.
Amazing. Amazing. Thanks again. Regards to your friends, your family, and we keep in touch. It was a pleasure to have you on the show, okay? Enjoy your
Thank you
day.
very much.
Take
Take
care.
care.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Bye bye.
So, did you like the show? Don't forget to give a like, share it, and also don't forget to subscribe to the channel. And if you'd like to be part of the show as well, first, subscribe to our channel, and after that, just go to our website, www.williamandthemagicbox.com, and send us a request saying why would you like to be part of the show. And I see you there. Bye-bye. See you next time.